if you're going to networking events and you're not getting referrals, you're not getting leads, you're not getting the clients that you should be getting for the amount of effort and time you're putting in, it may be that no, you don't need to change your pitch, your elevator pitch, how you introduce yourself. You might simply just need to be in better rooms or rooms with the right people. The kind where trust is already baked in and referrals move faster than your next launch ever possibly could. Hey, and welcome back to the Master Your Business podcast. I'm Deirdre Martin, award-winning business mentor, best-selling author, and I help coaches, consultants, and service providers scale past 100K without burning themselves into the ground. Now, most people out here are networking like it's 2012. They're putting links out there. They're dropping freebies left, right, and center. They're doing the hey hun dance in the DMs. And then they're wondering why it feels gross, icky, or salesy and why it just doesn't work. And if you're the kind of founder or business owner who's already proven you're freaking amazing at what you do, you've got the clients, you're getting the results, but you're maybe hitting that ceiling where everything still runs through you, this episode is for you, because that ceiling, my friend, that is not a problem with your hustle mentality or anything else. It's a strategy and energy problem. Because that ceiling, that's nothing to do with how much you hustle or you don't. What it is actually is it's an alignment thing. It's how your strategy and your energy align with the rooms that you're in. So today's guest is Suzanne Taylor King, and she's about to flip how you think about visibility on its head. Suzanne teaches something called MOFV, Middle of Funnel Value. Translation, instead of chasing strangers, you build real relationships with the people who already have trust with the exact clients you want. And you become so valuable, they pull you in. Now, this bit's freaking wild because she does it without pitching. No opt-in drive-bys, no book a call bait. She literally shows up, adds incredible custom value, and suddenly her name gets mentioned in rooms she's not even in, and the clients are landing fast, like really fast. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to pick the right rooms and partners so your efforts multiply, give value that lands like a mic drop without turning into a free help hotline. You'll learn how to rate the connections so you stop wasting time on energy vampires, and how to turn relationships into referrals without the sleazy salesy hangover. Okay, grab your notebook or don't and get ready for some good punchlines either way. Let's get into it. Suzanne, welcome to the Master Your Business podcast.
Oh, so excited. Great to be here.
Me too. It was such a pleasure being on your show. I'm like, yay, I get to have you come and now you tell me all your stuff. So I'm excited to hear about your incredible framework, MOFV. Let's start with, what is MOFV?
It's a way of thinking strategically about your connections, referral partners, where you're networking, and where you're providing value in the online space. I recommend massive value. So however you think about what you do in a way that would be of massive value to other people. And it is not your opt-in. It is not a PDF that you hand out to everyone. This is custom value to the people that you really want to connect with, bring closer to you, and actually receive referrals from, introductions from, or get exposed to their audience. And then those people are your people. So it's a whole framework for that. And I didn't even realize that it was a framework until people started asking me, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just do it. And I had to sit down with a pen and paper because I'm old and I like to write things down. What am I actually doing here that allowed me to build a relationship with, for example, my AI mentor? I was learning from him. I was in his mastermind group, about 30 people. 2 of the 30 became clients of mine. And I was like, how is this working? And then he has a Facebook group of 500,000 people that he mentioned my name once because I was of value to him. And then all of a sudden I had 10 clients and 200 more followers. And I was like, this is what I do. This is how I show up for other people over and over and over again. So I tried to test it by saying, what is the next thing I want to learn? And it was something AI related. I found a person who teaches that. I joined his little cohort of 60, 70 people. And all of a sudden, me just showing up, learning, sharing value, but not my opt in, not, hey, I'm a business coach. You want help with your business? No, it was just me being me. And all of a sudden, I had clients from that group as well.
Oh my gosh, I love this. And I know people who are listening are going to be like, wait now, go back a step, tell us
Okay.
more. Right.
Okay.
So, first off, MOFV is an acronym. What does it
Yeah.
stand for?
Middle of funnel value.
Okay. Middle of funnel value. For
Mhm.
people who are not marketers or don't know what middle of funnel is, start there. What does middle of funnel mean?
It means I want to build relationships with people who are attracting people, you know, at the top of the funnel. So think of a top of a funnel is everything: social media, email list, newsletter, some sort of presence that attracts people in the top and then they filter down. So when I provide value to somebody's middle of funnel, that would be me providing value to your members, paid clients, already podcast listeners. So not your top of funnel strangers, but people who already know, like, and trust you. You put me in front of them because I'm of value to you. And you know, I'm not going to pitch your people. I'm just going to be of value to them. And then that room learns something. And because they're already paying you or a fan of yours in some way, well, then I'm borrowing the trust those people have in you because you're putting me in front of them.
That makes so much sense. And like, oh my gosh, it's a
I
no
know.
brainer. How did
I
we
know.
not come up with this ourselves, right? Okay.
Well, honestly, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing until 3 or 4 of my clients said to me, "Where do you get all these new people from?" And I said, "Oh, well, that cohort came completely from my AI mastermind that I'm in with so and so. Oh, those 2 one-on-one clients came from one person who knows very specifically what I do. I'm of value to her community as well." And I just had an aha moment. I'm like, this is like a thing. This is a model I can not just do organically, I could do it with intention by having great relationships with maybe 50 people, maybe 100, but no more than that. And by being of real value to them, like, I hope you know that you could message me and ask me any business related question, and I would answer you and probably go above and beyond with the answer and not send you a link to buy a strategy session or a coaching program with
I
me.
love this because, and this ties into something that I teach to my clients as well in
Mhm.
terms of connecting and being very intentional about who you're going to
Yeah.
connect with. So, what I usually suggest that people do is that they connect with 4 different cohorts of people, but one of those cohorts are what I call like strategic partners. They're potential collaborators.
Yeah.
People like your AI guy who serves your audience, but in an entirely different way to you. So you're not competing with them.
Right.
So I'd love to know, do you have a strategy around that as well? And what does that look like?
I think at first, the first couple times it happened for me, it was me finding somebody I wanted to learn from or something I wanted to do for myself, not my business. So I remember when I was a dental hygienist before I was a coach, and I wanted to learn aromatherapy for myself, but I brought it into the dentist office and made it, a great experience in my room at the dentist office. And I remember going to learn aromatherapy. It was in person, it was a tiny little class. And one of the other ladies, same age as me, said to me, "How are you in such good shape?" And I said, "Oh, I teach exercise classes at XYZ gym. You want to come? And I'll give you a guest pass." She became my first coaching client. And I thought, this is what I do. I'm outgoing, I'm friendly, I like to build relationships with people. And I didn't sell her on working with me. I said, "Come take my spin class sometime. It's really fun. I'll make sure you like it and you're all set up." And she came and took one spin class. She was hooked. And 3 weeks later, she was hiring me as her health coach. And that was my first health coaching client.
Amazing. Okay. And in terms of adding value to their audience, to these people that you're strategically connecting with, talk to me around what kind of value you're giving them. If you're not
Mm,
giving them the, like, here's my
yeah.
form, fill up the thing for the freebie. What
Yeah.
kind of value are you giving?
Well, I think this is the most nuanced question because it's really based on the person that I'm connecting with. So I'll give you a couple different examples. My AI mastermind guy who's become a friend, we've spoken on stage together now. His group is all about AI prompting, his Facebook group. So when I go into his Facebook group to be of value, I don't share business coaching information. I don't share anything of mine. I share prompts that a business coach would give their client, but I do it in his framework, his prompting framework. I actually use his custom GPT that makes prompts to create prompts for his group. So I'm making him look good, basically, right?
Love that.
There's another group I'm in that is a learning community. It's very science based learning, but it's digital learning. It's really a cool concept. So I can contribute learning to that community. I don't contribute learning that has to do with my business. I contribute learning that has to do with Stoic philosophy and business principles because I know everybody in there likes that content, but it doesn't say, "Oh, hire me as your business coach." It's just sharing ways of thinking. And so that's another tip.
Mm,
Don't share what you do for a living, share what you think about what you do for a living, from that meta perspective.
mm,
And the third community I'm in is a networking group. The guy who runs that group is a networking coach. I share value based on, and I share a post maybe once a week in that community about connecting with other people. Oh, how to be of value that's not your opt in. Well, everybody went nuts that post. He doesn't talk about those things. And yeah, sometimes I'll share LinkedIn, how to do LinkedIn better. I don't do that for a living, but it's something I do really well. And so I share that with other people. So it really depends. I'm gearing my value based on where I'm showing up.
that makes it's like honestly, it's like light bulb moment over here, Suzanne.
Love that.
A light bulb moment. And I mean, I think people listening are going to be like, that's just so simple. How is it so simple to do that? And it is simple
Well,
to do,
simple, but
but not easy.
difficult, right?
Yes.
It's difficult to get out of your own head. And I can't tell you how many events I've run I do this really cool event for networking groups. It's called an ask and a give. And people come to the event with one ask and one give. And I can't tell you how many times I have to explain your give is not your opt in. It's not a call with you. It's not a website. Get that out of your ideas. And everybody's stumped. They're like, what do I give then? And I think that's the hardest thing to wrap your head around. Like in true go giver fashion, I'm a huge fan of Bob Berg and the Go Giver book. But that's the hardest thing because we're trained in the online space to give your opt in, get people on your email list or get them, so you can sell them something. And this is a reframe to be of value to other humans that might not ever result in that person hiring you.
Mm. And so, like, can you give some examples of the
Mhm.
types of gives that people are giving if they're not giving the opt-in?
Yes. Well, it could be a thinking partner on something. It could be like I give my LinkedIn resources to people all the time. And those resources look like how to set up your profile, how to DM people that's not spammy, that's real and authentic. And I don't sell those things. It's just how I could be of service to somebody else. Here, you want to learn from my experience, my 15 years in the online space. This is what works. Would you like me to send it over? And I actually had my sales coach was somebody who I wanted to build a relationship with. I liked his content. He's local to me. I thought there's collaboration opportunities. He's got people, I have people who need him. He has people that need me. I messaged him on LinkedIn and I said, I would love to connect. I love your podcast. Huge fan. And I said, when you share it on LinkedIn, instead of putting the link to the podcast in the post, put it in the first comment. You'll get more views. And his response was, no thanks. And I said, no thanks? What do you mean, no thanks? He said, I don't want what you're selling. I said, I'm not selling anything. And he said, yeah, right. Everybody's selling something. I said, oh, okay. Well, if you want to hire a business coach, but that's not, I don't want you as a client. I wanted to help you get more views on your podcast because your podcast has made a difference for me. But if you don't want it, I don't care. And he responded with, are you serious? And I said, yes. And it took 12 messages back and forth for me to break down the wall of him saying, no, thank you. Because people are jaded in the online space to somebody being real and actually wanting to help or wanting to have a conversation. So I just knew that he and I were meant he was meant to be on my podcast. He was meant to do something together with me, and so I was a little persistent with him.
I think that's really relevant too, Suzanne, because like actually only recently I hosted an online challenge. And
Mhm.
one of the things that we did was we talked about outreach and sending messages to people, and that resistance that people feel about sending
Mhm.
it is real. And it's because of how they perceive the messages when they come in. Just like that guy,
Yeah.
they feel like everybody's out to sell me stuff, but
Yep.
no. Like you and I have had so many different conversations. This is like
Mhm.
not our first time chatting on Zoom, right?
Right.
And
Right.
never once have we tried to sell each other stuff, but yet
Right.
we've established good foundational relationship. We've done a
Mhm.
collaboration. I've been on your podcast. You've been on mine. There's so many different benefits in that. And
Yeah.
to your point, MOFV, middle of funnel value, what you've done intentionally, because you initiated this and not me, I can't take credit, but you've created middle of funnel value for us both in doing that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
had either of us been resistant to those conversations and messages going back, we would have totally missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah. And I think that's how I've had the ability to have people talk about me in rooms I'm not in, to have somebody share, "Oh, you gotta talk to Suzanne. She'll know exactly how to answer that question." And the person who says that knows that I would answer the question or have a conversation with somebody they introduced me to without pitching them my program, right? Just to be of value. Now, you can't do it with everybody. That's why the strategy behind it's super important. You can't have more than 100, maybe 50 close relationships like that. But to be of value for my people know that if one of their clients, one of their paying clients, needs a conversation with me, they know that they can give them look, she doesn't schedule with people off the internet. She doesn't meet with strangers, but she'll have a conversation with you because I introduce you. That's valuable for every single one of my people, and they use it. And have I ended up with clients because of that? Yes, absolutely. But it's not an instantaneous way of being. It's a longer, if you're going to be in business for a long time, which I hope everybody is, this is a way to constantly expand. I have 4 networks of people in person. I have 2 different networks online, and then I have my actual paying clients, which I consider a network because I like to connect them as well. Well, when I think about those 4 networks of people, it's valuable just the fact that I have 4 networks of people that I can connect somebody from over here to somebody from over here, and they end up working together. Then all of a sudden, I'm more valuable. So it's just a different way of thinking about your business.
Yeah, it's a new top of funnel for your middle of funnel value, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and so that's top of funnel, middle of funnel.
Mhm.
How do you then make the invitation or, put the invitation out for people to come and work with you? So,
Mm.
how do you move people through the funnel all the way?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think the authenticity piece for me is to be of so much value that I don't ever have to do that. That's number 1. I don't like to sell myself. I'd rather sell you, honestly. I'd rather sell one of my other referral partners. And I think that's the healthcare background in me. You don't sell dentistry to someone. They either need it or they don't. So by me showing up and being of value, then most of the time someone says, well, how do I hire you? How do I, book that strategy session with you and explore? Well, then all of a sudden I'm not selling anymore. Again, I'm being of value and welcoming somebody into my world, which is far easier than overcoming objections and doing all that. Ugh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to overcome objections. If somebody tells me they don't have the money to work with me, it would kind of be bad business advice to say, "Oh, go into debt so you can hire me."
I
No,
hate that too. I'm
I
like,
hate that
oh
too.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, most of my clients either come to an event, my group coaching clients, they typically have come to something as a guest or, a workshop attendee. And then they're like, well, I want more of that. And it's a very simple, well, here's my membership. There's a free level, there's a 297 a month level, and there's a 997 a month level. Do you need to talk about it? Nope. They don't even need to talk about it because they've already receive that value from me. And of course, that has a ripple effect too. The more you do this, the more abundant, the more people. I have a brand new offer and I wanted a beta test group of people. I have 150 members in my group. Well, I just wrote about it in my group. Who wants to be part of the beta test? And I had 7 people already. I'm like, oh, well, that's because they already know that it's going to be valuable, that it's going to be impactful. And they were excited to get it half off because it's the first cohort. So it's things like that that kind of make sales easier. And then if somebody comes from a referral partner or one of those strategic partners, I make sure that those referral partners know what my offers are. I have this for $297 a month. I have this for $997 a month. And if somebody wants to work with me one-on-one, it's between 2,000 and 5,000 a month, depending on what they need. Here's the packages. Here's what it looks like. And so if somebody refers somebody to me, that person's already coming in hot because it's been mentioned. You need to hire Suzanne. I'm not the coach for you. Or you need to at least have a conversation with Suzanne. So making sure that your people are prepared for what your offers are and they know who your ideal client is really important. Well, if you don't know, I know exactly who my ideal client is. So I wouldn't go and be of value to someone else's group unless it was filled with those people.
That makes so much sense, Suzanne. And I love that whole process. And I love the
Thank you.
fact that you're educating your collaborators around how you can serve clients really
Yeah.
effectively. And it's like it's a natural transition for them to send those people to you. So it's like
Mhm.
it's just the next step on their journey to work with Suzanne. It just makes so
Yeah.
much sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. I love it. And when you were teaching this framework to your
Mhm.
clients, what kind of pitfalls or challenges or mistakes crop up for them when they try
Mm.
to follow this strategy?
Well, I think the fear around being strategic doesn't feel authentic for them. So that was the number one objection. Well, if I pick people I want to connect with based on that, that doesn't feel authentic to me. And my comeback for that was, oh yeah, it's got to feel aligned. You have to have something in common with your referral partners. You need to get along. You need to like them, for God's sakes. You need to like the people that you're hanging out with in the online space. And for me, it's some sort of rapport has to happen. And if somebody's a jerk, I don't want to provide value to them just because they have an audience, right? So I remember a couple of years ago, I connected with somebody who called himself a super connector, and 3 people had mentioned, oh, you got to meet this guy. You got to meet this guy. You guys will get along great. Well, I scheduled a time on his calendar and he didn't show up. There was a reason. Okay, I totally get it. And then I gave him my link to come on my calendar. And he didn't show up again. No email, no call, no text, nothing. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Once, absolutely. Shit happens. But twice, you're not a super connector. You just think you are. And somebody asked for feedback. Oh, hey, how'd it go with so and so? I introduced you to. I'm like, nah, no, not my people. Not my people. And the person was so surprised. And I said, well, listen, how you treat a new connection is a really good sign about how you treat the people closest to you. So if I had gotten an email or a text message or even a LinkedIn voice message, pick up your phone and say, hey, Suzanne, I'm so sorry. My dog threw up and I can't make it. Something. And so I think that was such a good like lesson for my people, my clients to it's okay to kind of rate people. So like if you're a +2 connection for me, it means I like you, I trust you, We can have a good laugh together. You appreciate a good joke and a nice martini or a drink or a glass of wine, right? There's some sort of rapport happening. And that I know if we went out to dinner together, we would never be quiet. We would fill up the whole time with conversation. So if that's the measure, anything less is not a +2 connection and doesn't make it through.
So rate your connections. I think that's actually so smart. And again, this is such an easy method and framework.
Yeah.
Like, no, let me rephrase that. This is such a simple framework, but not easy to execute on, despite the fact that it's super simple. And I
Yeah.
think, and sometimes what happens is with all of these types of things and everything in business, our brains automatically just try to make it more complicated than it is. But actually, I think what you're saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong. So what you're saying is find these strategic partners, get in the room with them, share value without gatekeeping it, be of service, like with that value, don't ask for anything in return, and then it just flows your way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will tell you, I picked a total stranger, and I do this routinely, where I see somebody's content on LinkedIn. And the woman I had on my podcast last week, she is a LinkedIn coach, and there's thousands of them or more than thousands, right? But she stood out, and then she called her LinkedIn Academy, the LinkedIn Rockstar Academy. And I was like, "Ooh, I like being a rock star." And I messaged her. I said, "I saw your video interview with so and so. I would love to connect, and I would love to have you on my podcast. If you're up for a totally cold conversation, let's get to know each other over a coffee live on LinkedIn." And she was like, "You're a rock star, yes."
I love that idea. That's fun.
Great. It was great. And my other favorite intuitive one, I was coaching my group and I was showing them how I meet people on LinkedIn because everybody's like, "Oh my God, how do you meet such great people?" And I brought up the page of all my new connections and I said, "I'm going to show you how I pick who to talk to." And they were like, "Okay." I scroll through and I stop. I'm like, "This one." And they said, "Why?" I said, "He calls himself a provocateur in his LinkedIn title." I said, "He's a coach and he knows how to poke and provoke and inspire." I already know that. So I click on his profile and click to his website. Now, this is in front of my coaching group live, and his website pops up. And his podcast is called the Uncommodified Podcast, category design, which I'm a huge fan of. Okay, so I already know I'm going to have rapport with him. And the website visuals are sheep standing up in brightly colored suits. He's saying, "Don't be a sheep." I love him already. His name is Tim Windsor. And I just demonstrated I'm talking about Tim in a room he's not in to people he doesn't know. You don't know him. I can connect you. You'd be a great guest on his podcast. But it's the message of it. It's intuitively, I knew that he and I were going to have this great conversation and we're going to laugh. I show up to his well, he did my podcast first, and then I show up for him. I introduced him to a couple people. I introduced him to one of my coaches. They lived in the same town in Canada, and now they're having breakfast together, and I've never met either of them in person.
You're just going to have to fly up there and have breakfast
said
with
that.
them one day.
I might have to surprise them at breakfast.
Or
one
maybe
morning.
the wine or the martinis or something,
Yes.
Suzanne. Yeah.
Yes. And I showed up for Tim's podcast And before he hit record, it was at nighttime, 7 p.m. He's like, "What drink are you having?" And I was like, "Oh, we're drinking? Okay." And I run and get one and I come back and I said, "I'm having a Hendrix gin and tonic. What are you having?" And we're talking about it. And it was just like so synergistic because you trust your gut when you meet people.
I love that. And there's this thing in neuroscience, it's called MWE, MWE. And it's the
Okay.
chemistry between me and we. And it's that vibe piece, right? It's like that feeling
Yeah.
you get from somebody else. It's like if the
Uh-huh.
we is good, like if we're vibing, you can literally feel the energy exchange, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
what
I
it
love
is
that.
in
Yeah.
we. And
And
it's
how do
like,
you spell it? MWE?
yeah,
Okay.
we. So it's that energy exchange. And like sometimes there is just no energy and like the whole thing is flat and it's like,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
uh,
that would go down as, a +2 conversation gives you energy, fuels you. You feel energized afterwards. A regular 2 conversation is okay, but you don't really see how you could be of value to each other. A 0 conversation is like, well, I said what I did, they said what they did. There wasn't really any synergy there. No energy given, no energy taken. Okay. A -1 is they tried to pitch me, their vibe was off or it felt weird. And then a -2 is silent, no energy, no vibe. And I know that every single person listening has had one of those and they've let it go on too long, or and I'm giving you permission that if there's no vibe and no energy and you feel drained in a conversation, there's a little button down the bottom of a Zoom meeting that says end. Just say the power went out.
Let
Get
it
out of
go.
there. Get out
Yeah,
of there.
be like Elsa from Frozen, let it go. And you
That's
know what?
right.
There's clients like that too. I was only talking
Yeah.
about this to my group yesterday as well, and we were talking about market research because one of the people in the group is pivoting a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and kind of doing full circle back to what they were doing before, but with a different niche and audience. And
Hmm.
one of the things we were talking about was to do with ideal clients and ideal paying clients. And then you've got people who like check nearly all the boxes, but the energy is just not right, or there's something about
Yeah.
them. And those little things are red flags. Like they're never going to be a client. They're not going to be a collaborator. They're not going to be a friend. They're not going to be a referrer. If there's
Right.
some sort of red flag, it's okay to be like PFO or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you need to do.
Well, it's the bravery required to, well, there's also an abundance thing that if you accept people that aren't great fits for you, well, you're missing an opportunity to refer them to somebody who could be a better fit, but also you're taking up a spot in your world for that perfect client, which I don't want to do. And I think there's a bravery that, if somebody's in front of you and they want to pay your full rate, your highest ticket program, if I say I'm not the right coach for you, I have to trust enough that there's going to be someone else who comes along to do that. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that, you know, not lack mindset, but kind of like, if I don't say yes to this one, how long is it going to be till another one comes along? So
Exactly.
that's kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's absolutely okay to say no. And
Yeah.
and what's huge, and I see this so much with clients as well, is that fear of rejection. They're
Yes.
so hesitant about being extrovert and being out there because they feel they're going to be rejected. But actually, sometimes that rejection piece, it can work the other way as well. It's
Hmm.
okay to be the person who says no. We're not the right fit. Like we don't have the
Yeah.
we. I don't think I can be of value to you. And it's okay to say no because exactly to your point, they're taking up space, but they're also taking up that energy and probably more
Yeah.
energy than you're prepared to give away. And that's got to be a no-no for so many reasons. So I think it needs to
Yes.
be a -3 on that list, Suzanne. Knows what I
Yeah.
mean. And
Yeah.
so, like, when you meet people, are you tracking this in some way? How do you manage or
Nah.
maintain this? What's your
I
secret? Tell us.
I didn't used to. It was all, just in my head. But sometime last year, I partnered with an agency and helping him grow. I had an agency in the past, so I know I need a sales pipeline. I know I need, all of those things. And I had some. And when I redid my offers for, the next 5 or 10 years, hopefully, I really said, I want systems. I know systems, I know processes, but, you know, the cobbler's son has no shoes, right? I could do strategy with other people all day long and automations and all of those things, but I didn't have any of it in place for myself. So it was a powerful look in the mirror about a year and a half ago to say, okay, I got a great website. I want to redo it. And when I do that, I have to have a sales pipeline. And even if I meet somebody manually, like you're in my system and I'm going to go into your card and put that I was on your podcast today. And there's just something magical about getting it out of here because once you start doing this a lot, like I do, you can't remember all the podcasts I've ever been on, but I could go to my system and type in podcasts I've been on, get a list of all of those people and their emails, and invite them on my show or invite them to someone else's show. Like, it just makes sense to start tracking people better. Get it out of your head.
And is there a tool that you recommend for this, Suzanne? What do you use?
Well, I love Go High Level. That's what I use. I have a couple add-on tools that I use, but I don't send any automated DMs. That's all me. I have a nurture sequence of emails, and that goes when you first subscribe. But after that, it's me emailing certain segments of my list because I get in different moods and I want to send something else. And if there's an automated sequence going to everyone, and then what happens if I get in a mood and I want to write something? Then I have to remember what email is automated going. I don't want to do that. So it's a little more authentic for me than someone else, but I'm loving the tracking of it.
Mhm. And like, it's so true what they say, what gets measured gets done. And,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, at the end of the day, you're in business to make money. And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, these relationships that you're really nurturing and adding value to, that's your needle moving activity. So it's
Mhm.
value giving and needle moving to show up and
Yes.
be giving. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah. What you put out there is just coming back to you tenfold and you so deserve it. You're incredible.
Thank you.
So
Thank
tell
you.
me, what is coming up for you? Where can people reach you? Tell me all the things.
Well, LinkedIn is, the social media where I hang out the most. I don't really do email very, very much. So I'm very much send me a message on Facebook or send me a message on LinkedIn. Once you're in, here's my WhatsApp number. Leave me a voice message. I like that closer connection with people. My website is just SuzanneTaylorKing.com. I have an incredible AI audit on there if people are interested in how they can start incorporating AI into some of these relationship driven things. I have some different frameworks for introducing people, downloading their LinkedIn profile, putting it into Chat GPT and saying, introduce these two people. So different things like that all come out once you do the AI audit. and you'll get some suggestions on how you can start incorporating it.
Sounds amazing. Okay, I'm definitely going to add the links into the show notes. So be sure and go and connect with Suzanne and check out her site. Suzanne,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, that was fun. If you take nothing else from today's episode, please take this. Stop trying to be everywhere. You really don't need to be everywhere. Start being unforgettable and incredibly valuable to the right people. That's MOFV. So here's 3 takeaways to tattoo into your brain forevermore. Number 1, your value isn't your opt-in. If your give leads to a funnel, it isn't a give. Number 2, borrow trust. Get in front of audiences who already know, like, and trust someone else and show up like a pro. Add value in their communities, doing the things that they do in a different way to serve the same audience but differently. And number 3, rate and track your connections, because those connections, it's going to be how you protect your time and your energy. And the more of them that you have, the more that you'll need to go back and remember who was who. So protect your time like it's revenue, because it is. So here's your action step for today. Pick one strategic partner or community. Maybe you're already a little bit near, and give them one piece of custom middle of funnel value this week. Make sure it's not a PDF, or if it is, that it's not gated. People don't need to opt in for it, or don't make it a pitch. Don't make it something like that. Something that makes them say, holy shit, that was useful. I got that for free. Whoa. And if you want Suzanne help with the AI side of this, her AI audit is linked in the show notes. Go grab it, then message her on LinkedIn and tell her you heard her on here on the Master Your Business podcast. Also, if this conversation hit you anywhere in the nervous system, go listen to 3 steps to build trust so you can win clients faster. It pairs perfectly with what we were talking about today. It's about working smarter. It's about trust with the people whose circle you're already in. All right. If you loved this episode, do me a favor, follow the show, leave us a review, and share it with somebody else who you know would just benefit from having a listen. Thank you again. I'm Deirdre Martin, and until next time, keep mastering your business.